Thank you so very much for being with us. Welcome to your Houston headquarters of the NAACP. My name is James Dixon. I humbly serve as the president of this organization, and I am thankful for the opportunity to do so, along with our executive committee members who are present and our executive director, Yolanda Smith. Welcome to all of you. And we want to welcome, of course, even our national board members, one of which you will hear from on today, along with the plethora of organizations, elected officials, civic leaders, faith leaders, parents, teachers, are all here on today. And we've come from every direction in this city and every nook and cranny, representing the 200,000 students of Houston Independent School District, its teachers, administrators, and all who make HISD what it is. We've assembled today under the theme that the TEA plan is failing our children. And the public must act now to save our schools and to protect our children. We've assembled today for several interconnected purposes. First, to announce our collective commitment to reclaim HISD as a legitimate public education system. Secondly, we're also here to affirm our support for the federal investigations that have been called for by Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia and our Congressman Al Green, who is here on today. We believe that those investigations are very important and necessary to get to the bottom of what's been going on through the leadership of President Superintendent Mike Miles. Thirdly, we all agree that the present chaotic conditions and structure of apartheid at HISD disqualifies them to seek a bond proposal in the upcoming election cycle. Presently, HISD is a graphic demonstration of taxation without representation. That is anti-democracy, and it is also anti-American. It certainly should be anti-HISD. The Houston Independent School District was built and continues to be operated on public dollars. The purpose is for children to be educated by teachers and administrators who are entrusted by the public. The public governance of the district is designed to prevent special interests from usurping power over the administration, over education, and over fiscal operations. Presently, the TEA appointed superintendent and board do not answer to the public. They answer to that leadership and their behest to special interests. We come to say we are taking our school district back. While the schools were not perfect, clearly the schools were in better hands with a democratically elected board of governance. And we want that to return. Let me rapidly reduce my remarks for the sake of time and heat. But under TEA, libraries have been closed. Under TEA, capable, competent, committed teachers and administrators have been fired, reassigned, and are functioning in fear. Our teachers are not safe. Our students are not safe. Programs have been eliminated that served our community. The schools are going backwards, not forwards. And we've come to say TEA plan is failing. We are not opposed to better facilities and services for our schools and for our children. We do understand we're not opposing a bond election, but we do oppose putting several $billions into the hands of a system that has no public accountability. And until those things change, we are not going to allow a bond to pass in Houston-Harris County. We will leave here asking for meetings with business leaders in Houston and in Texas to have a conversation, a serious conversation. Whose interest does it serve?
Yes.
Yeah.
To pass a bond election while the public has no input, no voice into how the dollars would be spent.
That's right.
We also want to ask the question of our governor. Do you not understand we're not going away?
That's right.
Yes.
We are going to fight until justice is done.
Yes.
And we're going to fight until there is a democratic process and governance in HISD.
That's
Yes.
right.
We're calling for all parents, students, and teachers to join this coalition to take HISD back, to reclaim this district as a legitimate public school system. We believe in public education.
Yes.
Finally, we're also aware of the movement for vouchers.
Yes.
We want to have a public debate
Yes.
to talk about why vouchers are being pushed by those who are pushing and advocating for them.
Yes.
But also to intelligently and civically discuss why we oppose vouchers in education.
Yes.
We understand that the long-term results of that would be negative.
Yes.
We see what's happening in Arizona. This does not work for schools, it doesn't work for our children, and it doesn't work for our community.
No.
So we're here to say, don't ignore us because we are not going away.
Right.
We have a voice and we want choice.
Yes.
We have a voice and we want choice.
Yes.
And we don't choose Mike Miles.
No.
We don't choose a governor's board appointed by TEA.
That's right.
We choose democracy over autocracy.
Yes.
We do not choose taxation without representation.
Right.
We choose to have our seat, our voice at the table because these are our children, our dollars, our city, and we will stand up for it. Thank you for being here today.
Yes. Yes.
At this time, we will have the president of HFT to come, a warrior for the community, Ms. Jacqueline Anderson. Receive her.
Yes.
Jacqueline Anderson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
From day one, we said this was a hostile takeover.
Yes.
And it was about power and money.
Yes.
We've seen firsthand the power that's being wielded by Mike Miles, who is carrying the agenda of Governor Abbott.
Yes.
We know this, and now he's asking us to support a $5 billion bond.
Yeah.
That's the money. No, we say no. No trust, no bond. This past year, our community has witnessed the erosion of our public schools. There has been internal strife, fear, and intimidation wielded among our schools, our teachers, and our communities. We say no. It is time for Mike Miles to go. Our collective goal here is a desire to reclaim our agency and restore the democratic governance of our school district.
Yes.
TEA must go.
Yes.
Yes.
We cannot lean forward identifying Mike Miles as the culprit.
No.
He is carrying the agenda of Austin. Let's be clear. He does not care. He is here for that specific purpose, and he's carrying the agenda that he has been assigned to do. We need to take our fight to Austin. Are you with me? In this fight to Austin. When decisions about education are made behind the table without our input, it undermines all of our democracy.
Right.
Are we going to let that happen?
No.
No, we will not. As the bishop has said, we will continue to fight. We are not going away. And we will fight until we have restored democracy in HISD.
Yes.
In our cities and in our county.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the next, I'm cutting it short because it's hot. Ruth Kravitz, Community Voices for Public Education.
Ruth.
Yay. Yay, Ruth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am with Community Voices for Public Education. We are a multiracial group of parents, teachers, community, students, and elected officials trying to ensure that all children receive the public education that we are expecting of our children in this great democracy. Mike Miles said last week something like, he expected more pushback from us. Well, we need to take on his challenge and say we're ready for that.
Yeah.
We have 12,000 people who signed one petition, 15,000 people who signed another, thousands of children who walked out last Friday with the support of their parents, hundreds of teachers who at risk of job and employment had a sick out last Thursday, and close to 1,000 people who showed up at City Hall on Saturday saying, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We will fight this takeover at the ballot box.
Yes.
We will fight this takeover in our communities. We will fight this takeover with community who haven't engaged with each other before, hand in hand, fighting for our children in every community. We do not say our kids. We do not say my kid. We say our kids.
Right.
And if what kind of crazy person said that if we want to improve our schools, the route to do that is to close the library, fire the teachers, and cut the services to all the people who need it. That is wrong and horribly inappropriate, and we will fight it. But in addition to the immoral actions that this school district has taken on, Mike Miles and the appointed board of managers who aren't elected by the people, there is fraud. And we support Congressman Al Green, Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, and many, many others to call for a federal investigation of what has happened. So I'm going to say a little teeny bit about what happened so that all of us know, because sometimes we don't want to listen to a long pitch. So this is what happened. In the same way that Enron was fraud and available and to everyone who's out there, this is what Mike Miles did. Mike Miles said that Third Future Schools Colorado and Third Future Schools Texas are part of some central office, and sending money to Third Future School Colorado was just like sending money to the central office. Mike Morath, the Texas Education Agency Commissioner, said that they are affiliated organizations. They are wrong. They are separate legal entities. Third Future School Colorado is a 2-school charter network. Third Future Schools Texas is a charter school management organization that truly is a shell company. Even if it wasn't a shell company, there should have been a contract between these two organizations. Contracts or invoices to say that Texas taxpayer dollars are being used to benefit Texas school children. And that contract does not exist. It has been requested multiple times. Additionally, Third Future Schools Texas, by law, must have an address in the state of Texas. If they don't have an address in the state of Texas, they are a shell company. If you look at the address on their most recent federal tax filings, filed in January 2024, it lists an address at a WeWork site in Austin. That WeWork site, an email sent to it was returned to sender. That WeWork site, when someone in Austin went and asked them, where is the Third Future Texas office space, they said they haven't been here in ages, but yet they filed their tax returns in January listing that address. Whether it is a violation of federal law, whether it is a violation of tax law, they are not above the law, and we should fight it. How can we expect someone like Mike Miles, who bandies money around from one organization to another without a contract, with a fake legal address, how can we expect him to care about our children's money?
No trust, no bond.
No trust, no bond. So we are here together to do this thing, to fight and move forward, and we will be more than 15,000. We will be 3 million, and we will get our school districts back.
Our Congressman from the 9th Congressional District, Congressman Al Green, we're honored to have him here to speak on his own behalf and his call for the federal investigation. Thank you, Congressman Green.
Thank you very much, Bishop Dixon. Thank you for your dynamic leadership. Thank you for your ability to span the chasms and build bridges. I think we owe Bishop Dixon a big expression of appreciation. As a matter of fact, I think we owe him a bigger expression than that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Friends, there are many elected officials here today. I acknowledge all of them. I acknowledge the persons who are unelected officials but have the community's best interests at heart. And I'd like to start with this. Abraham Lincoln reminded us in his 271 words Gettysburg Address that government of the people, by the people, for the people would not shrink from the earth. Well, we don't have government of the people.
Right.
We don't have government by the people.
Right.
And we surely do not have government for the people.
Right.
Currently, we have government of, by, and for the governor.
That's right.
The governor has replaced the people.
Yeah.
All of the board members that we have are appointed.
Yeah.
The superintendent is appointed. The only one elected in this entire process is the governor. So, governor, you have made your choice. We will make our choice. You're not going to be governor forever. And we will make sure that we remember how you have treated Harris County, Houston, Texas in the future. Now, friends, I am a person who is antithetical to vouchers, and I'll tell you why. The governor has spent an untold amount of money to elect people, to get people elected who would vote for vouchers. He went after the Speaker of the House, and he lost. But here is why we have to give consideration to this whole notion that vouchers are good for us and give negative consideration to it. Here's why. In 1956, after the Brown case, a Nobel laureate decided that vouchers would be the best way to maintain segregation in this country. Thomas Friedman. Friedman decided that they would issue vouchers to everybody, and there were some school districts that closed the schools and gave vouchers to the parents. That way they could maintain segregation. This was all about maintaining the racist institution known as segregation, and it was a racist institution. And so that from that day to this, there have been efforts to voucherize our school system. We have resisted that. The courts have resisted that. But the governor in the state of Texas is persisting with that. And the governor in the state of Texas, if he succeeds, will drain money from the public schools. That money is going to go to private schools, and we will find ourselves with a society wherein haves will be in one segment, nots in another segment. We will lose the public school system that we have. The public school system is the best system for this country because it gives us an opportunity to mix and mingle with each other, children from all levels of life, from all walks of life, from all stations in life. It's important for us to work together and for our children to play together. This is how integration succeeds. If we allow the voucher system to succeed, we will lose the public school system that has benefited this society. So I am perfectly satisfied with my position of being antithetical to the governor's position of having vouchers. Now, I did send a letter to the Secretary of Education and to the head of the Department of Justice. I sent this letter at the request of State Representative Ron Reynolds, who spoke to me, and he and I talked about the circumstance in Austin. And after talking to him and Bishop Dixon, it became perspicuously clear that we needed to have an outside investigation. Not allow the people who are on the board appointed to investigate the superintendent that was appointed. We would not have, pardon me for saying it this way, but this will make it clear, we wouldn't allow Frank to investigate Jesse. We want to make sure that we get an independent investigation. And now I'm going to just read this tersely and then say one additional word. This is why I have in my hand an article styled "Disappearing Dollars, Texas Public Schools are missing millions. This is from Spectrum News, May 14, 2024. And it reads, at a time when public schools across Texas battle huge budget deficits and drastic cuts, Spectrum News has uncovered millions of Texas public school dollars being diverted out of state. Out of state. The man believed to be responsible is Houston Independent School District Superintendent Mike Miles. And it goes on to say, whose network of charter schools in Colorado is in need of cash. He indicates here in this article that in schools across Texas, dedicated teachers and panicked parents speak out in passion and frustration. That's what's happening today. Now, we're dealing with the court of public opinion. This is enough probable cause in the court of public opinion for me to seek an opportunity for the Justice Department and the Department of Education to investigate this and find out what's happening to our tax dollars. Right. If our tax dollars are being sent out of state, given that we cannot go to the board to fire the superintendent, Miles, given that we cannot go to the governor, then we can only ask that he resign. Yeah. If this article proves to be true, he must go. Yeah. Miles must go. Miles must go. Miles must go. Miles must go.
Isaiah Martin will come and speak on behalf of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, 18th Congressional District.
First off, I want to thank everybody for being out here today because we all stand in support of our kids. You know, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee wanted me to be here today to represent her voice because this has been something that has been on her mind for quite some time. We all know of the Congresswoman's commitment. And I want to thank Congressman Al Green for his leadership. We want to thank Congresswoman Garcia. And we want to thank Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher because they have been stalwart in this effort. Congresswoman Jackson Lee sent a letter in March of 2023 calling for a federal investigation of this HISD takeover because we have to be abundantly clear about why we're here. Yeah. Greg Abbott removed a duly elected school board that was representative of the people, that was voted by the people, and removed them to appoint a self-appointed, puppet-controlled goon squad. That's why we're here. And so in order for us to end this takeover, it's going to take us coming together and doing the steps necessary to get there. So I know a lot of the speakers are going to speak about what they're doing, but Congresswoman Jackson Lee wanted to call for everybody in this crowd to write to their members of Congress. Because what we're seeing is that when extremism is allowed to stand in darkness, it only spreads. That's right. And what's happening right here in Houston, Texas can easily be copied in states all around the nation. That's right. So for members of Congress that might be looking at what's happening at Houston as an isolated situation, it won't be long until it ends up in their states. Right. It won't be long until it affects their brothers, their sisters. It won't be long until it affects their grandkids. So it's up to us to ensure that we are writing to members of Congress to let them know to join in the letters that Congressman Green has written, to join in the letters that Congresswoman Jackson Lee has written, because we need a full-scale federal investigation right now, immediately. This takeover needs to end.
Right. Thank you.
And we will end this takeover by coming together to get members of Congress to build a full-scale coalition to come together to get the federal government to end this and end this now. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so very much. We're pleased to have a very broad-based coalition, and coming now is a godfather in the movement himself, Mr. Johnny Mata.
Yes. I don't know if godfather is good or bad. Thank you, Bishop. We already have too many. Let me say here that I'm here on behalf of the Greater Houston Coalition for Justice. We seek justice. Yeah. We see injustice every day. Yeah. And I'm proud that Reverend Bishop and the Pidge of Dixon and others distinguished organizations to the tune of about 25 are part of the coalition. And very briefly, I will say this, because there's a lot of speakers and the sun is not getting any warmer. It's getting hotter. Number one, a message to the governor. If you spend billions of dollars in border security, which is not really your business, that's a federal government business, and then you raise your hands and saying you blame the school districts for their shortfall, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Yes. Yes.
We have leadership in Austin that are unconscionable, but dead set of putting people in back of the bus or not even able to ride the bus. Well, you're wrong. I will say this. The Greater Houston Coalition already filed a third-party class action with DOE, Department of Education.
Right.
Next week, we're scheduled to meet with the U.S. Department of Justice to discuss the same thing that is being discussed here. And let me tell you, the bond issue won't be an issue because we won't support it.
Right.
Not only that, a message to the school board and the superintendent. We want all the terminations of teachers and staff rescinded as of today.
Yeah.
And then I echo what Reverend Dixon said. We want our board back.
Yes.
In our charge of discrimination, we allege that TEA has taken over 15 school districts, which are predominantly black and brown.
Yes.
And the lower rate that are predominantly white, they look the other way. And the governor went out to do the pitch for charter schools and vouchers. And like Brother Dixon said, they went after the elected officials of his own party.
Yes.
When they were doing the mandates of the rural area, they don't want vouchers.
Right.
So you know what? Today is another new day. We're going to fight you like we did. And if you remember, you were at the news conference. They picked on the wrong city and the wrong district.
Yes.
And they're going to pay the price.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. From the legal community, we have Attorney Dominique Calhoun. Thank you so very much for your leadership and for the Lawyers Association. President Dominique Calhoun.
Well, thank you, Bishop, for your leadership. As you all know, the National Bar Association, the oldest and largest association of African-American lawyers in this country, founded in 1925, has stood by this coalition since day one, urging not only the Department of Justice and the Secretary of Education to take steps to look at this very matter. I'll be very brief. Two things. First, the superintendent is on record of saying that accountability without support leads to a culture of failure. Well, I'm here to say that workplace demands without support leads to a culture of failure.
Wow. Yeah.
So let's talk about failure.
Yeah.
Closing libraries
Yeah.
is a culture of failure.
It's a failure.
Sending teachers away, qualified teachers that
Yes.
care about our children,
Yes.
is failure.
It's failure.
Getting rid of principals is failure.
failure.
This system is failure.
Yes.
And it is time for us to stand up and take back our independent school district. The last thing, and I thank our congressman for being here, because this United States has a motto, e pluribus unum,
Yes.
out of many, one.
Yes.
And it means that democracy and the people have the right to elect their representation.
Absolutely.
It is time to restore representation at HISD
Yes.
in this community, and the National Bar Association stands committed with this engagement.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so much. Yes. At this time, we'll hear from elected officials, and we're starting with, of course, our newly elected Senator-elect, Molly Cook, Senator 15.
My message to the teachers, the students, the custodians, the support staff, the nurses, who are fighting against this takeover is do not let your head bow, do not be discouraged, and do not be afraid. Everyone on this stage would walk through fire for you, and likely will, to end this takeover and restore our elected control to Houston Independent School District. As a nurse, I can tell you that excellent public schools in every neighborhood is the foundation of our public health and public safety. Not just for our children, but for every member of our society. There is nothing more worth fighting for than excellent traditional public schools. Lastly, I will say that it is no coincidence that you have sent the youngest and newest Texas senator to Austin running on a platform of support for our traditional public schools. Our message to Mike Morath, Mike Miles, and Governor Greg Abbott is this movement is growing and will continue to grow until we achieve our goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. From the very beginning of this fight, we're grateful that Representative Ron Reynolds, chairman of the Legislative Black Caucus, has been on the forefront, continue to do so, leading the caucus to stand with us across the entire state of Texas. We're grateful for his presence. He's also a national board member of the NAACP. State Representative Ron Reynolds. Chairman?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bishop Dixon. And I want to thank all of our allies that are standing in solidarity. I want to publicly thank Congressman Al Green, who answered the call for a federal investigation of TEA and the HISD Superintendent Mike Miles. Thank you, Congressman Green. Thank you, Jackie Anderson and Houston Federation of Teachers and all the people here standing in solidarity. You know, I got a simple message, and my message is F Mike Miles. F Mike Miles. No, his name is Floyd Mike Miles. But let me tell you, I'm a parent. I'm a parent. And many parents across this city and across this state have received the final report card for their students for the school year, for the academic year. Right. And I rate, and I think we would all agree, that Mike Miles has earned an F. He's earned an F because he's failed our students. He has failed our students by closing libraries. How can you be a superintendent of a school district and you want to close libraries? The bastion of learning and reading, which is fundamental, particularly for black and brown students that may not have access to those books at home. F. Mike Miles has earned an F because he's failed our teachers. And Jackie Anderson has articulated that he's fired numerous teachers that were receiving academic achievement and turning around low-performing schools. He's failed these teachers. He deserves an F because he's failed our principals. He's fired some of our strongest, most dedicated and loyal principals in HISD. He's failed our custodians. He's failed our bus drivers. But more importantly, he's failed our community. And it is time for us to incorporate another F word. It is time for us to fight. It is time for us to fight against the oppression that has been installed by a culture of disarray by Governor Abbott, TEA Commissioner Mike Morath, by instituting a climate to dismantle a school district that educates our future leaders. They want to bring vouchers to HISD and to the state of Texas, and they are doing everything they can to destroy it. So we need you all to join with us in fighting, in voting, and speaking truth to power. And finally, there is no bond. There is no bond as long as we have a rubber stamp board of managers at HISD with no accountability to the community. There will be no bond as long as we have a failure in Mike Miles as the superintendent. So my final F word is, it is time for them to fire Mike Miles. Fire Mike Miles because he has failed our students, our teachers, and our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Reynolds. And now, State Rep Ann Johnson, a fighter in the movement. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. I'm proud to be here with my House colleagues, and I want to remind you that just months ago, we offered the fully fund education bill. When Governor Abbott called us back for a special session with billions of dollars available to give teacher pay raises, to take care of the infrastructure of schools, when we said, here you go, let's do it, he said no. And the key is you got to break it to replace it.
That's right.
This is not an accident.
That's right.
What do you think a billionaire TikTok investor from Pennsylvania has anything to do with the governor of Texas?
That's right.
He gave him $6 million to eliminate the bipartisan effort to support public education. And look at the front page of the Chronicle this morning.
Wow.
Abbott thinks he now has the votes.
Yeah.
Votes he bought by lying to Republican voters. They didn't run on public ed. They ran on a lie.
Yeah.
And he got what he wanted. So the fight is now. The fight is through November.
Yeah.
We as the House are the last stand for public education and ask for you to vote for public ed in November. Do everything you can.
Yes.
They want to break it to replace it.
Yes.
This is about vouchers. This is about reverse Robin Hood and Abbott stealing from the poor to give to the rich.
Yes.
Stop him at the ballot box.
Thank you. Gracie, who's representing LULAC? LULAC, come on forward. Daniel Sainz. Daniel Sainz is going to represent LULAC. Good to see you, Daniel.
Thank you so much. My name is Daniel Sainz. I'm with LULAC Council 60, the oldest LULAC here in Houston, going on over 90 years, civically engaged to help our Latino community. First, I want to thank the NAACP and Bishop Dixon for the invite to come to work together as we stand in solidarity for our students, for our parents, and our teachers. We all know that the Latino community makes more than half of the population for our students. And we want to make sure that we are sending a clear message that we are in support of our students, that we will fight with our students, for our students. And we ask that the community come out, that we ask for support. We have elections still going on. We need to make those votes.
That's right.
We need to make sure that we get clear representation.
That's right.
So as we stand together, we want to make sure that everybody is aware that LULAC is here to represent not only our Latino community, but our Black, Asian, and other students. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. We appreciate all of us who are here today, the pastors who are here. Thank you all so very much, representing the faith community. And let me say this as we conclude, friends, and we'll appreciate all of our state representatives, all of our leadership who are here, and give them all a hand. Commissioner Rodney Ellis sends his support. Thank you so very much for being here. Okay. I would like to do this because if I start doing remarks on behalf of all, then we're going to have a challenge. But let me just simply say that he is 1,000% support and behind our effort. I talk to him pretty much daily, and he's always talking about the problem at HISD, along with others who are here. City council members who could not be here, Ed Pollard and so many others. Carol Alvarado signed on to this campaign. So many leaders are saying we are with this movement to take back HISD on behalf of the public. Let me close by saying I concur with Representative Reynolds just concluded with, and Jackie Anderson and Ruth Kravitz, thank you so very much for your leadership and your organizations. This is a protracted battle. We understand that their motivation is money and power. Our motivation is our children and the future of our community. I promise you, our purpose and our reason is deeper than theirs. Money does not have the power to motivate like love does. We're here because we love children. We're here because we love our community. We were here before Mike Miles came. We will be here after Mike Miles is gone. We will fight until the day is over because we don't have anything but our children. This is life and death for those of us who are here. Thank you, Rep. Johnson, for articulating the fact that you presented a bill for education to have sufficient funding. It was turned down because that is not what this extremist leadership regime wants to see. They want to see us fail. They're against public schools because public schools produce Jackie Andersons. Public schools produce Ann Johnsons. Public schools produce Al Greens. Public schools produce people who are on this stage. They don't want any more of us being produced by the schools that produced us. I am an HISD graduate, and I don't think HISD did too bad. And I'm saying to us, parents, don't go for the okie-doke. Don't fall for the deceitful scheme to say your child deserves a better school building. Yes, all of our children deserve better school buildings, but they deserve a better school system. We don't need facilities with a farce of a system. Today and tomorrow and next week, we will be standing, growing, multiplying, speaking, boycotting, whatever it takes until we get HISD out of the hands of the special regime back into the hands of the people who own it, that bought it, that paid for it. That's the public district. HISD is ours, not yours. Give it back because we will come for it and come for you. God bless you. Thank you so very much, press, for being here today. Are there any questions from ladies and gentlemen of the media? Without saying too much about strategy, we're taking our campaign on the road. Thank you.
Wheatley grad, Wheatley grad, Wheatley grad.
Wheatley grad, yes. Yes. Any other questions?
Jack Gates is right down the street. We always talk about Jack Gates being taken over by University of Houston. You think that's in their plan also? And how you gonna say?
I think the plan is to destroy all of our urban inner city schools that have for so long been institutions that have produced the greatness that we see in our city, in our community, and around the world. We have to fight to save institutions. No community, any place, is any stronger than its institutions. Family, schools, business, churches, government, our institutions determine the strength and future of a community. When you lose your institutions, your communities are gone. So we've got to fight to save those institutions. Yes, sir. The cost is astronomical. I cannot give you a figure, but I can tell you that the district and people, we are losing money. This is depriving taxpayers of accountability. And I think it's very important that what the congressman said in his report. The reason those investigations are necessary is because fiscal accountability is what democracy is all about. When people pay taxes into a public system, they deserve to have accountable leadership in place so they can see where the money is going to the penny. That's not what we have now, and we're not going to stop fighting until we get that back. Johnny Mata. Yes, in Spanish. Thank you so very much, because my Spanish is not good today. Okay.
Right here.
Thank you so very much. We'll get a Spanish interpreter, please.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, Houston. Mi nombre es Jessica Campos. Mi mensaje el día de hoy es, muchas personas me han preguntado que dónde está la comunidad latina, por qué no nos estamos presentando en estas cosas. La verdad que no los juzgo, porque yo sé que mi gente trabaja mucho, no tenemos tiempo, la pasamos tratando de sobrevivir. Lo que le pido a la comunidad latina, por favor, infórmense, pongan atención a lo que está pasando, miren las noticias, no crean que lo que está pasando en las escuelas ahora es para que nosotros confiemos. Ya no podemos confiar en la educación, ya no podemos confiar que nuestros hijos están bien y salvos en las escuelas. Están acosando a nuestros maestros. Eso causa problemas para nuestros estudiantes también. Necesitamos poner atención. La comunidad latina, el 62% de HISD es latino. El 42% hablan español. Quiere decir que casi la mitad de la comunidad de HISD está en la oscuridad ahorita, porque la gente no sabe sus derechos, no saben que nos están robando la educación. Es hora de que nosotros los latinos levantemos la voz. Es hora de que peleemos por nuestros hijos, porque son nuestros hijos, nuestras escuelas. Nosotros también pagamos impuestos. Es más, pagamos más impuestos. Nosotros también tenemos derecho. Todos tenemos derecho a una buena educación. Todos nuestros hijos merecen una buena educación. Yo les exijo que pongan atención, miren las noticias, hablen con sus maestros. Yo les exijo que que se eduquen, edúquense. Nosotros también tenemos derechos.
I think I agree with every word that she said. Let me close with this, members of the press. I think this is important. At the very root of all of this is a desire to erase and modify history.
Yes.
In the governor's school system, the LGBTQ plus community will not exist.
That's right. That's right.
In the governor's school system, slavery will be involuntary relocation.
That's right.
In the governor's school system, we will find that our children will not get the education about each other that they can get in a public school system. We have to protect the public schools. The bishop is right. The state representative Johnson is right. This is all about the elimination of the public school system.
That's right.
We are at the genesis of the process. The revelations are yet to come, and those revelations will reveal a school system where haves will congregate and have-nots will be left behind.
That's right.
Thank you, Congressman Green. If there are no more questions from the media, we will adjourn our press conference. Let me thank all of our media for coming and for bearing the heat. We appreciate you so very much for that, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you for getting this important message out. Thank you again to Jackie Anderson and Ruth Kravitz. Give them a big hand, will you? Please do that. We appreciate that. Thank you, Conchita, for your work and for your support. And let me say in closing, this is not over. The fight continues. The powers that be need to know that when you pick on children, you wake up an army that will never go away until our children are safe, our teachers are safe, our employees are safe, and our community is safe. And to be safe, we've got to run out the culprits. That's what we are doing as a part of this coalition. Thank you so very much for being with us today.